Hey guys, welcome to Man About Cake. I'm your host, Joshua John Russell. This week, we're making a beach-themed wedding cake. I'm gonna show you how to make your very own oyster mold. Gentlemen, start your engines. Let's do it. So to make our oyster mold, we actually have to use a real oyster. The story behind this is I had a friend who had a really awesome beachy wedding and she wanted an oyster cake, but I couldn't find a mold for it. So we're gonna make our own. But we have to use a real oyster. In order to do that, we have to shuck oysters. And I did not have to watch a YouTube video. I actually used to work at a sushi bar.
Nice.
But it's been a long time. So if this goes through my hand, don't panic, I will pass out. No, I'm just kidding. So to shuck an oyster, you're gonna actually start at the back here. You can see there's like a little bitty lip. I can get my oyster shucker in, my little sword. I'm gonna hold it with a towel for safety. And then we'll stick this in here and, oh, you're gonna break pieces, it's okay. Wiggle it. Well, some of the shells are really brittle. So I would say if you're gonna make one oyster mold, maybe get 3 or 4 just in case. It's cracking, it's cracking. Ooh, there it went. You ready? It's gonna be really gross.
Ew.
I love oysters.
Ew.
They're delicious.
Ew.
No? Brandon, I don't like that look on your face. Well, we're not gonna eat the oyster, we're gonna clean it out. The oyster will be chocolate, so you can eat the chocolate one. I'm gonna go clean these guys completely, like with a brush, scrub them with soap, get every bit of dirt and oyster out of these, and then we'll make the mold.
Thank God.
Now that our oysters are clean, we can make our mold. So this is the silicone putty that I'm going to use. There's 2 different mixes. On their own will stay soft. When you mix them together, then they start to firm up. So it's equal parts of white and purple. I'm gonna eye it. If you want to, you can actually measure it out. Let me feel it, let me see. They're exactly the same. All right, you ready? So you wanna mix them like you're mixing color into fondant until you see no more streaks.
There's a lot of pressure here.
I've done it before, it's fine.
4, 3.
Don't do a countdown, I'll panic. I'll get all sweaty and weird. All right, so it's all mixed together. What I'm gonna do first so I get the most detail out of this, I could just push this into the mold, but I may get some bubbles. So I'm actually gonna smear some of this on top to make sure I get all those beautiful details. And you'll come back and you'll start on purple so we don't form bubbles and just keep smearing out to the edge. All right, so now that my entire mold is covered, I need to back this so the mold's a little bit stronger. So I'm gonna take the rest and press over this. So I'm just gonna push it out with my hand, and then we're gonna just form it to the whole mold. This will give it a little bit more stability on the back side when you're pushing chocolate or whatever you're using it for, like that. So we're gonna make the bottom as well. I'm gonna use a little bit less this time because it's a little bit flatter. Same idea, smear it onto the surface, and then we'll use the rest to back it. All right, so now I'm gonna do these other 2 so we have some different shapes. Perfect, we're gonna let these set for about 25 minutes and then we'll pop them out. I'm gonna start by breaking down my 8-inch orange cake. By the way, if you guys want this recipe, click the eye above me or they're in the description box below. New garbage cake! We're actually gonna fill it with white chocolate buttercream too, so it's gonna taste like a creamsicle.
Awesome.
It's a good summer wedding thing, right? Oh, it smells good. It smells like orange juice. Break this guy in half. I'm gonna fill the cake with white chocolate buttercream and then chill it. Then we're gonna cut the sides, crumb coat, and final coat the cake. We're gonna cover the cake now in white fondant. I'm gonna roll this to an 1/8 of an inch thickness. I made an additional tier. This is a 6-inch, and now I'm gonna stack it onto the 8-inch using bubble tea straws. My favorite. All right, now it's time to paint the cake. We're gonna paint the cake using confectioner's glaze. I have a palette of colors here. They're not necessarily beachy colors. We're gonna make this a little bit more whimsical, but I am gonna keep it very soft. And then the oysters are gonna be really dramatic. So they're not gonna be painted like real oysters. They're gonna be really whimsical and fun, very colorful. So I'll start with a little bit of glaze, a little bit of pearl, and I'm gonna add a tiny bit of pink. Ooh, that's nice. So I'm just mixing the confectioner's glaze with powdered food color. And I have some pinks here. Now I have a little bit of teal. Ooh, that's nice. Super washed out. What does this look like, Brandon? Thought you'd have the answer immediately.
Teal.
Watercolor. You know about your watercolor. You failed.
Ask me.
What does it look like, James?
Alabama.
Everything looks like Alabama to you. Have you ever been to Alabama?
No.
Okay. It's a beautiful state. So if you guys are from Alabama, since James loves Alabama, comment, let me know, because we're neighbors. I'm from Georgia. Well, I'm from Mississippi, then I skipped over Alabama, and now I live in Georgia. But you have to go through.
I'm curious where everyone's from.
That's a good idea. Where is everybody from? You guys comment below. Tell me where you guys are from.
I'm from here.
No one wants to know where you're from, Brendan. This is like therapy for me. Plus it's fun to see like how the colors blend together and make other colors.
Joshua, take your colors out and paint your feelings.
You just described my entire childhood. Boom. A lover. The way you know that they're set is when you touch the back of this, you don't leave a finger mark. And they also feel pretty set. So I'm gonna flip it over, and then I'm just gonna gently pull it away from the sides of the oyster. It's making a fun noise. Boom. See, some of the little particles came with it, so now I will wash this and get it super clean before I use it on things that are edible. All right, we're all clean, and I've got a little bit of modeling chocolate. Now let's make some oysters, some ones that Brandon will actually eat. All right, so I'm just gonna take a piece of modeling chocolate, and we're gonna push it into our mold all the way out to the edges. I'm gonna kind of leave a little bit of a lip right here because I want to paint a little bit of gold on the sides. It's looking pretty oystery. There's no real tips or tricks to it. It's just pushing the paste in. You can make these with gum paste. You can make them with fondant. You could pour chocolate in here and then dump it out. There's plenty of different ways you could use them. I just enjoy modeling chocolate because it's fast and it's pretty easy to use. All right, now they're all filled. I'm gonna let them set up in the fridge for just a couple of minutes and then we'll pull them out. This one's gonna be really awesome. Look at that detail. Here are the bottoms. Not as exciting, but we still have to have them. Cool, now we're gonna paint them. I'm gonna start with the inside. We want the inside to be really shiny, so I'm just gonna put on a coat of confectioner's glaze. I have the same setup here that I had for when we painted the cake. So I have the glaze, I have the wash, and I have powdered colors. You see how shiny it makes it, like the inside of a real shell. We can add a little bit of luster to it as well. And I'm gonna paint these in whimsical colors. It's not gonna be like a real oyster. It's gonna be like a magical oyster in Wonderland. I don't know, it's the first thing that came to mind. So we'll do a little bit of pink here. And oysters have like this little spot right in the middle where it attaches. And it's usually like a purpley brown color. We're gonna make it pretty. And then I'm just gonna kind of wash some of the color onto the outside. A little bit of green over here. So for the backside, we'll do the same thing, but I won't make it as shiny, so I'm just gonna paint it. Let's do some teal. Why not? They're my oysters, right?
The world is your oyster, right? So pretty.
So I'm gonna come back and actually add some gold to the edges of all of my inside oysters as well. Maybe a little gold in there. Yes. All my oyster shells are painted, and I actually made some little pearls as well. And I'll show you, I just rolled modeling chocolate into little balls, and then I took a little bit of pearl dust here. We'll put those in the pearl dust, and we'll just roll them around. So we have some fun little pearls. So I'll put those around the cake as well. I may not need this many, but I made some extra ones just in case. So now I'm gonna glue all of my oysters on with royal icing. Oysters are a hard word to say. I just realized that. Oysters, 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 you can't do it. Problem is that you paint them and they're beautiful on both sides. And I don't know which one I want to go front or back. All right, on the top, I'm gonna make one that's open. So we're gonna put down the bottom first, and then this guy I'll put behind him, but I think I might have to put a skewer through him because it's chocolate. All right, now I'm gonna add my pearls. Our oyster cake is complete, and I think she turned out pretty rad. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode of Man About Cake. Remember, if you want any of the supplies or recipes, click the eye at the top or get them from the description box below. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave me a comment to tell me what you guys want to see in future episodes. Now I want to eat some orange cake. No, that's a pearl.